I'd like to introduce you to a distinction that I like to draw between two different kinds of healing processes, and at the end, give you a practice to lean into what about this I find useful as a distinction. So, the distinction I want to draw is between curing and healing. For me, curing is a restorative practice. I want to return myself to a point that I was at in the past. So, for instance, I get an infection, I take an antibiotic. The antibiotic cures the infection, and afterwards, it's almost as if I didn't have the infection at all. I'm back to where I was before I had it. Great. We can also make that kind of argument about breaking an arm, right? I break my arm, I get the arm bones set correctly, I get a cast, everything goes ideally. Afterwards, maybe I need a little bit of physical therapy, but then I have full function restored to what it used to be. I just go back. Okay. That's curing. Healing, I think, is actually a different animal. Healing, in my universe, is what happens when we recognize that there's no going back to how things were before, either because how things were before caused us to break, or because things have changed enough that we can't go back to where things were before. There is no return to that, so we have to go forward in a new way. Healing is fundamentally transformative. I have to be a new version of myself. I have to adopt new behaviors, new habits, new ways of thinking in order to be well, based on either the kind of damage and harm and break that occurred or based on what I learned from the damage, harm, and break. Healing is transformative. Curing is restorative. There's nothing wrong with either. They both have their place. Why I'm talking about this is because most of the work that I focus on is not about curing. It's not about putting you back to where you were. It's about healing. It's about transforming into a new version of you that deals with the problems differently. All body-based healing starts from a foundation of body awareness. You have to feel your body and its signals and interpret them correctly in order to navigate by them. If you're constantly ignoring that ache in the shoulder, if you're constantly just like putting it out of mind because it feels like there's nothing to do about it, it can't get better, particularly because the problem is being ignored. You have to feel it to heal it. So let's cultivate a little bit of extra body awareness together by doing a practice. And this practice should set the stage for more healing down the road, not do a big change today. So wherever you are right now, if you're sitting, great. If you're laying down, even better. If you're standing, it's doable. I would recommend taking a seat if you can so that you can turn inward. And I'm going to ask you to bring your attention to whatever part of your body is talking to you right now. So maybe something's aching, maybe something's feeling really vibrant and alive, maybe your heart is racing, any bodily sensation that you can tune into. And just feel it without trying to fix it. So if something's tight, compressed, stiff, instead of trying to, oh, now I'm aware of it, I'm going to work it out, just sit still with it for a second. If there aren't any parts of your body that are clearly talking, great, no problem. Bring your attention down to your feet. Maybe even squeeze your feet a little bit and release them, just to notice, what do they feel like right now? Either way, now let's go to the feet. If you've been sitting and listening to, maybe it's a shoulder, maybe it's an arm, maybe it's some achy pain part, bring your attention to your feet, and then gradually up to the ankles, up into the calves and the shins, the knees, the thighs, front and back, your butt, your pelvis, your belly and your back. Inside your belly is your gut. Maybe it's talking to you. Listen. Notice. Bring that noticing up into the chest, into the shoulders, down the arms, into the hands and fingers. You can move your parts a little bit to get in touch with them, but resist the temptation to fix, stretch, reposition, rearrange in order to create more comfort. Just listen. Bring your attention into your neck, your jaw, your skull, your face and your eyes. You have now just paid attention to all of your parts. We can do that again, this time a little more actively. I want you to deliberately send some TLC. Maybe you can imagine whispering to your feet, "You're doing great. I love you, calves. Keep it up, spleen." It's a little bit silly, but engage with a little bit of silliness because we want to create an experience of caring about what the body part is saying to us. Just like with a little kid, if you go, the kid's going to figure out pretty soon that you don't want to hear it. For your body, treat it the same way. Your body is a collection of toddlers. Listen to it with kindness and see what happens. This body awareness practice of just scanning through the body, putting your attention in various parts, is a great way to break the habit of whatever, or ignore until it figures itself out. And instead creates the opportunity to, oh, when I listen here, I notice this is really tight and sore. And that gives us something to do. Whether it's now stretch it out, now work it out, or it's, what have I been doing with my body habitually? Sitting on my phone, perhaps, scrolling indefinitely through TikToks. That's compromising this place. If you can't feel it, you can't heal it. I hope this practice is helpful in at least beginning a foundation of body awareness and increasing your body awareness. I will be posting more content like this. I hope you find it helpful. Take care.